Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to make this cockatiel. It's very cute, have a round shape. And it actually takes less than 2 hours to make. The pattern is suitable for beginners because it doesn't require too many complex stitches. For those who are interested, I also sell Cockatiel crochet kits on my website. It comes with everything you need to make this cockatiel, including the pattern itself. So you can see all of the materials that it comes with. It comes with the 6.5 mm crochet hook, 2.5 mm crochet hook, the pin, stuffing, yarn needle, stitch marker, and then all of the different yarn colors. So here's the stuffing, and then here are the yarn, and then here are more yarns to make the facial details, along with the 2 crochet hooks. And all of the pins and stitch marker are all in here, including the needle. If you are new to crocheting, please make sure to check out my Amigurumi 101 playlist. In that playlist, you can learn how to make different crochet stitches along with the sewing techniques you will need in this tutorial. We are going to start by first making the head / the body of the cockatiel. We're going to start with the yellow yarn and use the 6.5 mm hook. To start the first round, you are going to make a new loop. You can do that by crossing over the yarn like this, and then hold that intersection piece, fold down the circle, and then grab your hook, put it under this yarn right here in the middle of the circle. You're going to hold the short end and then the long end of the tail while pulling on your hook to form a new loop like this. Then you should be able to resize your hook if you're you will be able to resize your loop. You can do that by holding onto this short end and then pulling on the long end to make sure that the size of the loop is similar to the size of your hook. You don't want it too big or too small, just to make it just right. Now, next step, let's make 2 chains. Okay, in order to make a chain, you'll want to make sure that you wrap the yarn over your hook, and then you're gonna pull through that loop that you had previously. So this is 1 chain. Now repeat one more time, yarn over hook, and then pull through. So now we have 2 chains, 1, 2. Next step, we are going to insert the hook into the first chain. This is chain number 1, chain number 2. So in the first chain, insert the hook. In this first chain, we are going to make 6 single crochet. In order to make 6 single crochet, you're going to yarn over hook, pull through. You see how you have 2 loops. You're gonna yarn over hook again and then pull through first loop and then pull through the second loop. This is a single crochet. You can kind of see its shape. We are going to have to make 5 more single crochet in that first chain over there. So I'm gonna insert my hook back to that same hole or same spot, and then make more single crochet. So again, yarn over hook, pull through, you see the 2 loops, yarn over hook again, and then pull through both loops. So this is my second single crochet. The first single crochet is here. We need to make 4 more single crochet. So in the same hole, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. That's my third single crochet. 3 more. So insert my hook, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. That's the fourth single crochet. Okay, insert my hook, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. That's the fifth one. Now the last one, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. So as you can see, the shape will look like a circle. So I can count, this is my 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then this is the first single crochet. This is the end of this round. This is an alternative method to how you would make a magic ring that consists of 6 stitches. You can count each stitch. It's slightly harder to see with this yarn, but you can kind of see how there is a front loop here, the loop closer to you, and then back loop, the loop further away from you. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. The way you would pause your work is you can pull this loop a little bit bigger, grab your stitch marker, and then I like to personally insert it into the last stitch of the round. So I'm gonna insert it like that. There we go. This is how you would pause your work and mark the end of the round. Okay, let's continue our second round. Once I'm done from pausing, I can just simply insert my hook into that same loop and pull this long end of the yarn to reduce the loop size. On the second round, we are going to follow a sequence, and that sequence is we are going to increase 6 times. So in order to increase, what that means is in each stitch here, or in each single crochet that you made from the previous round, you're going to add 2 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so 2 single crochet in each stitch equals increase in my pattern. So now you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch, and then notice how we have the front loop and the back loop. You always would want to insert your hook through both loops, the front and the back. And now let's make single crochet. So yarn over hook, pull through, and then yarn over hook, pull through both loops. We just made 1 single crochet in the first stitch. You need to make 1 more. So I'm gonna insert my hook into the first stitch, and then yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. So now I just made 2 single crochet in that same stitch. This is what I call an increase. So now let's get to the next stitch. So now I'm inserting my hook into the second stitch. I'm going to do the same, just gonna make 1 single crochet and then make 1 more in that second stitch. Here we go. Now on to the third stitch, make an increase. So that's 1 single crochet and then 1 more. On the fourth stitch, There's one single crochet, and then one more to form an increase. And then if your work started to curl up like this, just use your hand to kind of stretch it out a little bit. The other way you can fix it curling up is to loosen your stitches a little bit. So don't crochet too tight. Crochet a little bit loosely so that the piece kind of expand outward rather than, like, you know, curl up like that. All right, so 2 more times. So on the 5th stitch, gonna make 1 single crochet, then 1 more. And now on the last stitch, I'm gonna pull out my stitch marker and trying to remember that this is the last one. So 1 single crochet, and then 1 more in that same stitch. Now once we are all done, let's insert the stitch marker back so that we won't forget where we left off. Just like this. And here you go. This is the second round. So just make sure that after each round you count your stitches. There should be a total of 12 stitches in this round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For the third round, we are going to follow a similar but slightly different sequence. That is 1 single crochet followed by an increase for a total of 6 times. So what that means is in the first stitch we are gonna make a single crochet, and in the second stitch we are going to make an increase. That's 1 single crochet. Okay, that's the second single crochet, so we just made an increase. So as you can see, this is where we start, the single crochet, and then here is an increase. So we made the sequence 1 time already. We just need to repeat this same sequence for a total of 6 times until the end of this round. So I'm going to show you one more time. So in the stitch after, just 1 single crochet, and then we make an increase in the next stitch. 1, 2. So as you can see, is 1 single crochet, an increase, 1 single crochet, an increase, and then just keep repeating until you reach the end of the round. Okay, so here is the end of round 3. There should be a total of 18 stitches. So I'm going to count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18 is where the stitch marker is at. For round 4, the sequence we are going to follow is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then increase. So basically 2 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then an increase. Okay, so first in the first stitch I'm gonna make 1 single crochet. In the second stitch also 1 single crochet. In the third stitch we'll make an increase. This 1, and then that's 2 again. So it's gonna be 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then increase. And after that, you're just gonna repeat until the end of the round. Here we're at the end of round 4. You should have a total of 24 stitches. I'm not gonna count, but I think you should, in order to make sure that you did not miss. Count your stitches. It's a good practice. For round 5, we are going to follow a similar sequence. This time it's gonna be 3 single crochet followed by an increase. So it's going to be 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then increase. So in the first stitch, make 1 single crochet. In the second stitch, make 1 single crochet. In the third stitch, make 1 single crochet. In the fourth stitch, make an increase. So that's 1. Okay, that's the second one, so that's an increase. Okay, to repeat, it's gonna be 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then an increase. You're basically going to repeat the same sequence until you reach the end of this round. This is the end of round 5. You should have a total of 30 stitches. Make sure to count before you move on. And you might notice that the piece is starting to curve inward a little bit, which is totally fine. You should see that your piece will not be a flat piece. It will curve slightly, but if it's curved too much, make sure to kind of stretch out your piece a little bit so that it doesn't curve way too much. Round 6 is gonna be slightly different, but it's very simple to do. Because my piece is getting big now, I'm just gonna fold it in half when I crochet. This is making it easier for me to hold. Now for this round, all we're going to do is make one single crochet in each stitch until the end of the round. So I'm going to show you that by putting in my hook and just make single crochet. Here you go, I'm done. So the first stitch, 1 single crochet. Now I'm on the second stitch, also 1 single crochet, and then you're simply just gonna repeat that same sequence until you reach the end of this round. Here is the end of round 6. You should have a total of 30 stitches in this round. For round 7, we are going to use white color, so we have to make a color change. And since it's going to look way nicer to have a seamless color change, what I typically like to do is we are going to finish off, fasten off, whatever you call it. Basically, you're going to take this yarn, cut it, okay, and then you are going to pull out the slope all the way out. So as you can see, we already finished it off. And the next step, I'm gonna just take out this stitch marker. Then you would grab your needle, take this tail and insert it into your yarn needle. Alright. Now we need to try to clean up the edge. You can see that this side is actually taller than like over here. You can bring your needle. Let's see here. So this is where you finish off your stitch, and then this is the stitch after, and then there's one more. So we're gonna skip the stitch after and insert the needle into this second stitch from where you finish off. Okay, and then kind of pull through, and then after that you're going to insert the needle into the middle of the stitch, which is the stitch where you finish off, and then try to like pull it. Okay, so you can kind of see that, okay, the edge looks slightly smoother. You can, you know, pull and adjust your piece a little bit to make it more seamless. And now that we have this tail here, we need to clean it up. I'm just gonna do that by grabbing, you know, a piece somewhere inside and then tighten it. Gonna grab another piece somewhere inside the head and then try to hide this tail like that. Okay, so we are basically done cleaning off the edges. It's gonna be now hard to tell where you finish off, which is a good sign because we want this color sheen to be seamless. For round 7, we are going to switch to white color yarn, and the easiest way to do that is to make a new loop. You already know how to do this. Simply cross over the yarn, hold that intersection part, and then fold down your circle, and then grab your hook, pull this piece of yarn through the circle to form a loop. Now, round 7 could start anywhere on here, it doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna pick one spot that is convenient for me to start off. So you're just gonna insert your hook into any stitch on this, and then simply yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. Yes, that is a single crochet. So you're just gonna simply make single crochet all around until you know, reach the end of the round. I'm just gonna keep going and I'll see you at the end of round 7. So here's the end of round 7 from the inside, and then here's what it looked like on the outside. You should have a total of 30 stitches. Make sure to count, this is very important. And then for round 8, we are going to follow a sequence that is similar to before. This time it's gonna be 14 single crochet, then an increase, and then repeat that sequence twice. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then an increase. 1, 2. Okay, that's our increase. I already did the sequence once. You just need to do one more time to reach the end of round 8. Here is the end of round 8. You should have a total of 32 stitches. For round 9 is very simple again. All you need to do is single crochet around. So that's gonna be 1 single crochet in each stitch, just like before. And then just keep going until you reach the end of round 9. Here is the end of round 9. You should have a total of 32 stitches at the end of this round. And for round 10, we are going to follow a new sequence. That's gonna be 6 single crochet followed by a decrease. So by far you have learned what is an increase, and I'm gonna show you how to decrease in a little bit. So let's first make 6 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So next I'm gonna show you how to decrease. To decrease, basically what it means is you're gonna make 1 single crochet, but by crocheting 2 stitches together. So first I'm gonna push my hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, and then pull through. You see how we have 2 loops right now, but we're not gonna end there. You're gonna continue to push your hook into the stitch after this, yarn over hook, and then pull through. So now you can see that we have 3 stitches. Now lastly, yarn over hook and then pull through all 3 loops. This is what I call an increase. Some people also call it single 2 stitches together. Okay, let's repeat the sequence one more time so that you can see it again. So let's make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just made 6 stitches, and now we have to make another decrease here. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through. Note how you have 2 loops. Let's not end there. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through. Now you have 3 stitches, yarn over hook, and then pull through them all. So that's a decrease. So I made the sequence twice already. You just need to repeat it 2 more times to reach the end of this round. Here is the end of round 10. You should have a total of 28 stitches. Notice how the number of stitches are decreasing. This is due to the fact that we just made 4 decreases that last round. So you know how at first we started by increasing, so the rounds are getting bigger, and once we are making more decreases, the round will get smaller. And now for round 11, we are going to follow a similar sequence. That's gonna be 5 single crochet followed by a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's decrease. So I already made that sequence once. You just need to repeat it 3 more times to reach the end of round 11. Here is the end of round 11. You should have a total of 24 stitches. You can start adding stuffing here if you want, but usually I typically like the round to get a little bit smaller before I add stuffing. So I'm just gonna continue with round 12. For round 12, all we need to do is 1 single crochet followed by a decrease and then repeat until the end of the round. So let's start. 1, then a decrease. That's it. So 1 and then decrease. And then you're just gonna repeat that same sequence for a total of 7 more times until the end of this round. So we are at the end of round 12 right now. You should have a total of 16 stitches at the end of this round. You should see that your piece should look super round at the end of this round. And if it doesn't look round enough, don't worry, you can always stretch out your piece. And once you add stuffing, it's going to also help to shape your piece a little bit further as well. Now let's add some stuffing. Please take your time when you're trying to add stuffing. There is no rush. Usually when I add, I like to kind of push it in from the middle, but I would try to then spread out the stuffing to the side, leaving the middle kind of hollow. And just keep repeating that same process. Add new stuffing in the middle and then just keep spreading it to the side. And at the same time, you want to make sure that the stuffing gets spread out kind of equally to all sides. You might also notice that your crochet piece also will get slightly bigger because of all the stuffing, which is good. And the shape will start to look more defined as well. Okay, now I'm done stuffing for now. I actually save a little bit more stuffing to stuff more at the end once we finish the next round. So let's continue. For round 13, all we're going to do is decreases. So we're just gonna decrease until the end of this round, and we only need to decrease a total of 8 times. So I'm gonna start. That's 1 time, and then you're just gonna keep going until you reach the end of this round. Why crocheting this round? Just make sure the stuffing doesn't get stuck in the middle of your stitches. You can always use your hand to push down the stuffing so it doesn't get caught in the middle. And I'll see you at the end of round 13. Here we're at the end of round 13. We are gonna finish off again right here, but this time around I'm gonna leave a long tail. You can see this is about, I guess, a ruler length long. The reason we are leaving a long tail is because later on we need to sew this hole close, and it's quite a big hole right now, but we'll be able to sew it close. Okay, and then again, since I did save some stuffing from before, I'm just gonna add more right now. And just make sure that it's all stuffed equally all around. So I'm not gonna close this hole just yet, and the reason for that is we still need to add some facial details along with sewing the different pieces, like, you know, the cockatiel hair, the chic brushes, the wings, and it's gonna be a lot easier to insert the needle through the bottom when we sew. So I'm gonna leave this hole open and then we'll only close it at the end. Next, we are going to make the eyes by using this dark brown medium yarn. So in order to do that, we're just gonna insert this dark brown yarn into a needle like that. Is good enough. Then let's mark the location of where we want the eye to be at. So anywhere is fine, but basically the eyes will be on round 6. Okay, round 6. So this is first round, second round, third, fourth, fifth, and then sixth. So this round is where the eye will be at. I'm just gonna kind of, you know, decide on a location somewhere in here. So I'm just pinning the pin right at where there is a hole. This is like kind of the top edge of round 6. This is bottom edge of round 6. Just gonna kind of roughly mark the location. Okay, so if the first eye is here, the second eye needs to be 6 stitches away. So the way you would count that is by counting the hole spaces. So if this hole is here, the next hole is here. So this is, if I put the second eye over here, this would be 1 stitch away from the first eye. So I'm just gonna need to move my pin along the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me double check again. So this is 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay. So this is how far apart the eyes should be at. Now let's embroider the eye. I'm going to insert my needle through the bottom part right here, and it's going to go where I have the pin at. Okay, so you see how this is the same hole as where the pin is. Now I'm gonna slowly take out one of the pin. I'm gonna pull this yarn through. If the stuffing come out, just kind of take it off. That's totally fine. Now I'm gonna insert my my needle into this stitch down here, right? Because that's how I want the eye to look like. And then I'm gonna insert the needle into here and then out here at the same spot where I have my yarn at right now. Okay, so now we're making the eye. Just gonna wrap it a couple of times, like 3-4 times max, so that the eye doesn't look way too thick. Okay. And then once I'm done, I'm just gonna push it all the way through and then coming out at the bottom. Alright, so the eye should be looking, you know, vertically like that. Now let's repeat on the other side. Again, insert the needle and then you should come out where you have that pin marked at. And then let's wrap around this stitch. There's a lot more stuffing getting stuck in between, so I'm just pulling that out. Okay. Alright, so now once we're done, I'm just gonna bring my needle back down here. Okay. So you could kind of adjust the eye width slightly, you know, by like pushing in or expanding it. But yeah, this pretty much look the same on both sides. Now, once you take out your needle, all you need to do is tie this two-tail into a knot so that it doesn't come out. Cool. Now just cut this off and you are done. Next, let's make a tail. You're gonna start off by making a new loop. Okay, then chain 5 times. Yarn over hook, pull through. Okay, this is 2 chain, 3, 4, and then 5. So in the next chain from hook, so this is the chain next to hook, and so this will be the next one. You have to make 1 single crochet, then on the next chain you are going to make something called half double crochet. The way it works is you're just gonna yarn over hook first, insert your hook into that next chain, yarn over hook again. You see how now you have 3 loops. You yarn over hook again and then pull through all 3 loops. So this is half double crochet. Okay, now for the next 2 chain, you're gonna make double crochet. Double crochet is very similar, except that you're just gonna yarn over hook, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook again, pull through. You see how you have 3 loops? You're gonna yarn over hook and only pull through the first 2. Now you have 2 loops left. You're gonna yarn over hook again and then pull through the last 2. Okay, we're just gonna do that one more time. So yarn over hook, insert your hook, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over hook, pull through the last 2. So this is what your tail should look like. Once you're done, let's finish off with a long tail. Okay, and here is your tail. Next, we are going to make wings. You just need to make 2 wings. So we're gonna start by, again, making a new loop. Once you have your loop, chain 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the next chain or stitch, make a single crochet, and in the stitch after that make half double crochet. So yarn over hook, insert your hook, yarn over hook again, and then yarn over hook, and then pull through all 3 loops. In this last stitch here, you're just gonna make another half double crochet. Alright, and in that last stitch, the same stitch as the half double crochet you just made, insert back your hook, you're gonna make a slip stitch. To do that, you yarn over hook, you pull through. See how you have 2 loops? You're gonna pull through the first loop into the second loop. Okay, so this is what your wing going to look like. Let's finish off with a long tail. Then make one more wing. Now let's make cockatiel hair. Start by making a new loop. Chain 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then make 3 single crochet. Okay. One, 2, that's 3. If it's curl up a lot, just try to pull it out a bit so the shape is flattened out like this. Okay, next we are going to chain 4 times again, same thing, and then you're just gonna make 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna pull this a bit, flatten it out, and now I'm gonna finish off with a long tail. So basically you're just gonna have this almost like a V shape, but we're gonna try to sew it to the head looking like this. Next, let's make the chic brushes using this orange medium weight yarn. First, you're going to make a new loop. Then let's chain 2 times. 1, 2. Insert your hook into the first loop or first stitch here, and then you're gonna make 6 single crochet. This one, repeat the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you are done with the first round, let's mark this last stitch here with the stitch marker. For the second round, all we're going to do is increase 6 times. So let's start. 1, 2. So that is 2 single crochet, which makes up an increase. Now 5 more times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. At the end of the second round, you should have a total of 12 stitches. Once you are done, let's just finish off with a long tail. I'm also gonna trim this short end of the yarn in the back as well. And here we are done with one brush. Make one more. Let's make the mouth using this gold medium weight yarn. First, you're going to make a new loop. And then chain 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Start off by making 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So there's 1 single crochet on the next stitch. There's also 1 single crochet. And on the third stitch, we're going to make 3 single crochet in the same stitch. So that's 1. Oops. 2. And then 3. Notice how at first we're starting from this orientation, but as I crochet more and more, my piece starting to rotate like this, which is totally fine. Okay, next stitch will be this one right here. Make one single crochet, and then the last stitch will be right here. Make an increase. Okay. Once you're done, just spread out your piece a little bit so that it's flattened out. You'll see that this looks like a tiny oval shape rather than a circle here. And at the end of this round, you should have a total of 8 stitches. You can, count them. And once you are done, let's finish it off with a long tail. Like this. Next, we are going to need to add some more detail to the mouth. Basically, just a tiny line across the mouth, but we'll need to use a 2-strand dark brown medium yarn. This is a normal medium yarn, okay? And what I meant by strand is when you untwist your yarn, okay, you'll see that each piece of yarn is made up of tiny strands. You see how here there are 4 strands. I'm just gonna separate it in half to get 2 strands. Okay, so here we only need one of the half, so I'll throw the other half away. So this is how thick we want the line to be, so we're going to use this in a little bit. Now that we have made all these parts, we are going to assemble onto this cockatiel piece. Let's start off with the mouth. The mouth will be on the same round as the eye, which is round 6, and it would just go right in the middle here. Before sewing different pieces together, you always would want to, pin the piece so that it's secure and it doesn't shift when you sew. So I'm just gonna do that. Insert this tail into your needle. Okay. And now just start sewing. Okay, now once you're done sewing, I'm just gonna push in the needle all the way to the bottom along with the excess tail. Okay. That looks good. We'll keep the tail here for now, and then we'll secure it in a little bit after we sew everything together. Next, we are going to add more detail to the mouth using this dark brown strand that we have prepared. Insert it into the needle. I'm gonna insert from the bottom up to somewhere around here. So basically, this is gonna go across like that. Okay, and we need this yarn to be even thinner. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna twist it even more. So that it looks super thin. Like that. And I'm going to just insert my needle onto the other side, down to this bottom here. Okay, so there should be a horizontal line across like this, just to help make the beak look more defined. Next, you're going to want to sew your cheek brush to each side of the eye or the face. Just insert the tail into the needle and then start placing the cheek brush. It's gonna be right around here. Make sure to secure the location with the pin. I like to use at least like 2 pins to make it more secure. And then now let's sew. Okay, so I have finished sewing the cheek brushes. You can see on both sides. Next, let's sew the hair piece right on top of the head. Should go somewhere around here. It's just gonna be slightly off the center. You can also pin it to secure it, like that. And then you can, try to adjust it slightly as you see fit. I'm just gonna grab one end of the tail to insert it into the needle. And then we're just gonna start sewing. If the needle are in the way, you can just move it around or take it out. It's just there to help us fix the location of the pieces initially. Okay. Now I'm just gonna make sure to hide this tail. Somewhere down the bottom. All right. And then we shape this a little bit. Okay, so it look a little bit like a V shape. So for all the tails that come out on the bottom, I would try to tie it into a knot to make sure that they are secure and nothing will come out. Okay, and then you can just hide everything inside. Next, let's sew the wing to both sides. It's gonna be somewhere here, right next to the chic brush. And then on the other side, somewhere here as well. Okay. Now insert the tail into the needle. And I'm going to start like right here. Yeah, we just need to make sure that the wing stay this direction. So I'm just gonna sew it in. Like that. Then I'm gonna hide this tail down at the bottom. Okay. Okay, repeat this for the other side and also make sure to tie the tail into a knot. Okay, last but not least, we are going to sew this tail onto the back. So first insert each tail one at a time into the needle, and we're gonna find a placement for the tail. Let me just pin it and then make sure that it's, you know, at the center of this. Okay, so you can kind of turn your cockatiel sideways to see, you know, if the placement of the tail is truly at the middle. I think it's pretty good. I might just shift it to the left slightly, but otherwise it look about right, like ballpark. Okay, so I'm simply gonna sew this. So I sew the tail such that you can, you know, kind of bring it out like this. And now let's kind of clean up all the stuff here. So I'm gonna tie all these together. It's kind of very messy here. Alright, and then push it inside. We are almost done. Okay, the last step is to close this hole. I'm gonna insert the tail again into the needle. And the way I'm gonna close this hole is I'm gonna go across. So this is where the tail is at. I'm gonna go across and insert the needle through a stitch. I like to do it from like the inside coming out, and then you're gonna pull. I'm gonna find a different stitch to go from inside out, and you're gonna pull, and then, you know, just find the opposite stitch. Inside out, and pull, and just kind of going around. Eventually it's gonna close, and then you could, you know, kind of sew over and over to make sure no gap is shown here, and then to also secure it a little bit more. Okay. And then after all this, you can hide your tail inside of your piece. The best thing is to use like a wooden chopstick or a tweezer. Can, you know, help push the tail into your piece. But I'm using a scissor here because I've been doing it for a long time. But if you're gonna use a scissor, be very careful because it could actually accidentally cut your piece and then unravel stuff. You don't want that to happen. So, you know, either use a wooden chopstick or what's the other thing? A clean tweezer to hide that extra tail. So now we pretty much done. If you like this video, please give it a like or a comment if there is a specific tutorial you would like to see. Thank you.